What if everything you believe about life, about death, is a grand illusion? What if the afterlife isn't a distant destination, but the very reality you inhabit right now? For millennia, whispers of ancient wisdom have spoken of a truth obscured, of hidden mysteries waiting to be unveiled. Have you ever felt a profound sense of déjà vu, a lingering echo of something unremembered yet deeply familiar? What if these aren't just quirks of the mind, but glimmers of a continuous consciousness, evidence that you are already living within a vast, simulated existence, a school for your soul's spiritual illumination? Today, we begin an extraordinary journey, deciphering clues woven into our reality, hints from what many considered forbidden texts, revealing the deep purpose behind your existence. This isn't mere speculation. It's an invitation to embark on an inner alchemy, to awaken to the boundless cosmic energy that shapes all things. If the possibility of such a truth stirs something within you, if you crave to understand the deeper narrative, then join us. Like this video, share your most intriguing questions in the comments below, and subscribe to become part of a community dedicated to unraveling these profound truths. If life is a simulation, then the idea of a multiverse takes on a new and intriguing meaning. It's not just about parallel universes, but layers of reality, like programs running on different threads or intricate levels within a cosmic game. The ancient wisdom of countless cultures, from Siberian shamans with their journeys between worlds to the Indian Vedas with their description of locust planes of existence that transcend our ordinary perception, has always alluded to these multiple spheres of existence, heavens, hells, astral planes, each with its own vibrational rules and specific inhabitants. These are not mere folk tales, but coded maps of consciousness, keys to unlocking the hidden mysteries of the universe. Consider the Eleusinian mysteries in ancient Greece, where initiates were guided through experiences that simulated death and die, rebirth, revealing the multidimensional nature of the soul. And the forbidden texts of Gnosticism, many rediscovered at Nag Hammadi in Egypt. In these ancient scrolls, we find detailed descriptions of Pleroma's realms of divine plenitude and Aeon's divine emanations that form the fabric of the cosmos. They articulated a profound understanding of the intricate architecture of the universe, challenging linear perceptions. What if the veil separating us from these realities is not physical, but a vibrational frequency, a filter of our own perception, part of the programming of our simulation? Inner alchemy, in this context, transcends the transmutation of metals. It becomes the transmutation of our own consciousness, the ability to attune ourselves to these other frequencies. It is a process of spiritual enlightenment, where the practitioner not only studies, but also experiences the expansion of reality. Consider the profound significance of the Bardo Thodol, the Tibetan Book of the Dead, one of the most renowned texts, forbidden or restricted to the study of initiates. This detailed guide is not just a manual for what happens after physical death. It is a vibrational map for navigating the intermediate states of consciousness, the bardos, which can be interpreted as transitions between different dimensions or sub-simulations of existence. Each bardo describes landscapes, lights, and entities that resonate with universal archetypes, suggesting that these experiences are inherent parts of the architecture of cosmic consciousness. Or the complex Mayan cosmologies, with their 9 layers of the underworld and 13 layers of heaven, each representing a distinct dimension of existence and consciousness, connected by a cosmic tree, a cosmic energy that pulsates through. Everything, from an atom to a galaxy, would be the very life force that sustains these multiverses, the vibrational fabric that connects them, enabling communication between them, even if imperceptible to our ordinary vision. The prophetic visions of mystics and seers throughout the ages, from John's revelations on Patmos, described in the Apocalypse, to the astral journeys of shamans in the Amazon, could be partial interpretations, or downloads of information from other layers of this expanded reality. They weren't delusional. They were accessing different frequencies, perceiving reality through a wider lens, less filtered by the primary simulation in which we find ourselves. The search for truth, then, is not just about unraveling what lies before us, but about learning to see what lies beyond it, to decipher the universal symbols that recur in all cultures, in all times, like a common language between dimensions. This is the path to awakening our true nature, a spark of primordial consciousness that exists beyond any singular dimension and manifests in countless realities, all interconnected by this cosmic energy. The interconnection of this cosmic energy, this vibrational web that permeates and unites all dimensions, leads us to an even deeper question: the role of our own individual consciousness in this vast symphony. If the universe is a tangle of frequencies and information, then the human mind cannot be merely a passive receiver. It must be, in essence, an active co-creator. The ancient wisdom of ancient cultures, from the Indian Vedas to the Greek oracles, has always pointed to this forgotten truth. Consciousness is not a product of the brain, but a primary entity, a fractal of the universal consciousness that permeates everything. The hidden mysteries of the ancient mystery schools, such as those of Eleusis in Greece or the cult of Isis in Egypt, were not empty rituals, but meticulous processes of spiritual enlightenment designed to awaken this inner truth. Their initiates were led through experiences that dismantled the ordinary perception of reality, revealing the interconnection between the micro and macrocosm. They understood that inner alchemy, the transmutation of personal consciousness, was the path to influencing external reality. It was not magic in the trivial sense, but a profound understanding of vibrational resonance. By purifying the mind and raising the vibratory frequency, the adept aligned themselves with cosmic energy, becoming a clearer channel for manifestation. Consider the forbidden texts, many of them burned or hidden throughout history, such as the Gnostic codices discovered at Nag Hammadi in Egypt, or the Hermetic fragments that survived the destruction of the Library of Alexandria. These documents were not mere religious scriptures. They were manuals for the engineering of consciousness. They detailed how our perception, attention, and intention shape reality at a level that modern science is only now beginning to grasp: the quantum level. Quantum physics presents us with a universe where matter is not solid and immutable until observed. Particles exist in multiple states simultaneously, a superposition of possibilities, collapsing into a defined reality only under the influence of an observer. This observer effect is not a quirk of quantum mechanics, but a direct echo of ancient wisdom. The shamans of South America didn't need particle accelerators to understand that reality is malleable, shaped by the dreamer's vision, the healer's intention, the tribe's focus. They understood the universe to be a collective dream, where individual consciousness, when aligned with universal consciousness, had the power to rewrite the script. Consider the practice of deep meditation, which in many Eastern traditions, such as Buddhism and Hinduism, aims to empty the mind of egoic concepts and identifications. By doing so, one not only achieves a state of peace, but also accesses pure consciousness, the undifferentiated substratum from which all reality emerges. In this state of spiritual enlightenment, the distinction between observer and observed, between self and the universe, dissolves. It becomes clear that we are not just part of the web, but the web itself, the dream, and the dreamer. The cosmic energy that sustains the multiverse is not out there. It pulsates through every cell of our being, a direct access point to the creative source. The key is to recognize and use this connection, not as a magic trick, but as a fundamental truth about the nature of existence. This is true inner alchemy, the transmutation of the lead of ignorance into the gold of conscious awareness, a process that continues to unfold in layers of hidden mysteries. The path still stretches, and the next revelations await those willing. To see beyond the veil dot, if inner alchemy transmutes ignorance into perception, then what do we perceive when the veil lifts, even for an instant? Many experience the strange familiarity of déjà vu, that unsettling sensation of having already lived a present moment, of having already walked that path or spoken those words. Patterns that repeat themselves in our lives, encounters that seem predestined, scenarios that insist on manifesting themselves. The ancient wisdom of cultures, as diverse as the Vedic Upanishads in India, the Mayan codices in Mesoamerica, and the esoteric traditions of ancient Egypt, long ago saw these, not as mere coincidences or failures of perception, but as echoes of a much deeper memory. Not a personal memory stored in the cerebral cortex, but an archetypal memory of the cosmos, of the very flow of cosmic energy that sustains reality. It is as if the great loom of the universe keeps a record of every thread, every knot, every interaction, and occasionally one of these records resonates in our consciousness, revealing the underlying CYCLIC ITY. In this sense, is not a simplistic punishment or reward, but an intricate feedback mechanism, a silent teacher that guides us through learning cycles. It is the manifestation of an evolutionary blueprint. The hidden mysteries of existence reveal that each experience, each relationship, each recurring challenge is an opportunity to integrate unlearned lessons. It is as if the very web of universal consciousness projects repetitive scenarios until the soul, in its inner alchemy, transmutes the limiting pattern into expanded awareness. Forbidden and esoteric texts, rarely accessible to the general public, such as certain hermetic treatises or lesser-known Puranas, describe karma not only as actions, but as intentions and energetic resonances stored in the subtlest layers of our being, awaiting the opportunity to be re-examined and resolved, purifying the vibrational field. This understanding transcends the mere notion of past lives to extend to the idea of continuous cycles within a unified consciousness, an eternal now where past, present, and future intertwine. What we call karma is, in essence, the language of the soul seeking its own spiritual enlightenment, the path to liberation from reactive patterns and ascension to a higher state of being. Consider the legends about enlightened masters who, upon achieving karmic liberation, transcend the cycles of samsara, the wheel of birth and death. They do not escape reality, but understand their true nature, becoming conscious co-creators of the web of destiny, dancing in harmony with cosmic energy. Each cycle, each return to a familiar pattern is not a burden, but a veiled invitation to delve deeper into the investigation of our own consciousness, unraveling the laws that govern manifestation and evolution. It's a complex and multifaceted map that existence itself offers us for our growth. This is not an end, but a continual invitation. Question: observe the patterns, for within them lies the key to the next steps of spiritual enlightenment. The tapestry unfolds, and each knot is a revelation. If the tapestry of existence unfolds in karmic patterns, then each thread of this web holds a memory. And where are these memories stored? Ancient traditions, with their ancient wisdom, pointed to something beyond material comprehension: the Akashic records, the universal memory. The term Akasha itself has its roots in Sanskrit, referring to a primordial, omnipresent ether or space that is the fundamental substance of everything. For the Vedic sages, it was the invisible repository of all manifestations, the subtle substratum of the universe. These are not physical books or dusty libraries, but a vibrational energy field, a kind of cosmic cloud of data, where every thought, emotion, action, and event since the dawn of time is indelibly and instantly recorded. It's as if the universe were a gigantic brain, with each particle a neuron, interconnected by a vast network of cosmic energy that holds the totality of experience. The forbidden and apocryphal texts of various cultures, often hidden and guarded for centuries, alluded to this great archive. In ancient Egypt, there was talk of the Hall of Records beneath the Sphinx, or the Emerald Tablet of Thoth, which would contain the synthesis of all universal knowledge. The concept, although not explicitly named Akashic, resonates deeply. With the Gnostic idea of the pleroma, the divine fullness from which all reality emanates, and to which all information returns, it was through theosophy. In the late 19th century, with figures like Helena Blavatsky, and later in anthroposophy, with Rudolf Steiner, that the term Akashic records gained prominence in the West. They described these records as a cosmic book of life, accessible to those who developed spiritual clairvoyance. Steiner, for example, claimed to have accessed these cosmic memories, revealing details about the evolution of humanity and the planets, challenging conventional historical narratives. How can we conceive of such vastness of information? Modern science, through its own lens, offers intriguing parallels. The quantum field, the ocean of energy underlying all that exists, where particles emerge and disappear, where information cannot be destroyed, only transformed. Could this field be the material basis for what the ancients called Akasha? The idea of a universal memory field resonates with Carl Jung's theory of the collective unconscious, a repository of experiences and archetypes common to all humanity, accessible through dreams, myths, and symbols. Accessing these hidden mysteries is not merely an intellectual curiosity, but a path to inner alchemy. It is not about peering into a future or reliving the past per se, but about understanding the deeper patterns that govern existence, about deciphering the code of creation. Spiritual enlightenment, in this context, is the ability to tune into this stream of universal information, to perceive the interconnectedness of everything, to read the signs that reality itself manifests. Imagine that each of us is a node in this vast Akashic network, both receivers and transmitters of information. Our choices, our intentions, our emotions all resonate and register, shaping not only our individual journey, but also contributing to the collective tapestry. This is not a poetic metaphor. It is the description of an energetic reality where consciousness is the primary interface. The Akashic records are not static. They are a living, constantly updated archive, a mirror of the evolution of universal consciousness. They invite us to go beyond the surface of existence, to question what we think we know about time, memory, and identity. They are an invitation to uncover the deepest layers of our being, to realize that we are, in essence, active participants and guardians of a knowledge that transcends the ages. The search continues, for with each unfolding, new questions arise, revealing that true wisdom resides not in final answers, but in the ceaseless and humble pursuit of the unknown. The search continues, because with each unfolding, new questions arise, revealing that true wisdom resides not in final answers, but in the incessant and humble search for the unknown. This unknown, which we explore through the Akashic records, is the very essence of what we perceive as reality. The hidden mysteries of ancient wisdom, transmitted through the centuries in parables, symbols, and rituals, have always pointed to a fundamental truth. The universe is not a construction of solid, inert matter, but an intricate web of information and cosmic energy. This insight echoes Eastern philosophies that view the world as Maya, a mutable manifestation of consciousness, and not a mere insubstantial illusion. Similarly, pre-Socratic Greek thinkers such as Pythagoras postulated that the cosmos was governed by numerical and harmonic principles, an underlying language that ordered apparent chaos. If reality is information, then consciousness is the decoder and projector. Our mind, therefore, is not a mere byproduct of cerebral complexity, but the primordial interface that interacts with, interprets, and crucially, shapes this informational matrix. Spiritual enlightenment, in this context, is the awakening to the understanding that we are fragments of universal consciousness, capable of actively influencing the tapestry of existence. The forbidden texts, those that challenged dogma and were therefore suppressed or distorted, such as certain Gnostic Gospels or Hermetic manuscripts, describe this innate capacity of human consciousness to connect and interact with the unified field of information. Our beliefs are not just opinions. They act as programs, like selective filters that determine which frequencies of the vast cosmic energy we can access and manifest in our experience. Emotions are powerful vibrational amplifiers, intensifying the rate of resonance and the speed at which our thoughts and beliefs solidify into what we call reality. And intentions? They are the direct commands, the conscious or unconscious guidelines, sent to the quantum field of information, outlining the path of manifestation. This process is true inner alchemy, the transmutation of the lead of ignorance, fear, and limiting beliefs into the pure gold of awakened and empowered consciousness. It is not about transforming precious metals, but about transforming the very perception of reality and consequently, reality itself. The ancient alchemists, in their search for the philosopher's stone, sought not a physical object, but a state of being, a mastery over universal principles that would allow them to manipulate the subtle matter of existence. For them, the prima materia was not a chemical substance, but the formless and malleable substrate of informational reality, moldable by will and ancestral wisdom. Delving deeper, consider the teachings of Eastern yogis and mystics who, through ancient practices, sought to transcend the illusions of the mind and perceive the Atman, the true self, as identical to Brahman, ultimate reality, universal consciousness. This is not a poetic metaphor, but an experiential description of the primacy of consciousness over form. They understood that true freedom lies not in escaping the simulation of reality, but in mastering it, in rewriting its code from within, altering our own vibrational frequency. The errors or imperfections we perceive in the external world may actually be reflections of our own internal patterns, invitations to adjust our perceptive filters, to calibrate our attunement to the cosmic energy that permeates us. The search, therefore, is not for an exit door, but for a key to access the deepest layers of our own consciousness, revealing the hidden mysteries of the interconnection between mind and universe. This path is continuous, and each revelation only deepens the mystery, inviting us to reflect even more deeply on who we are and what we can become. If near-death experiences offer us momentary glimpses of an unveiled reality, of a consciousness that transcends the limits of the physical body, what can we say about dream states, these portals that open for us every night? The language of dreams, my dears, is the oldest of sacred writings, a universal dialect that predates any spoken or recorded word. It is the most accessible bridge to other realities, to the unconscious that is not only personal, but collective. Carl Jung, one of the great explorers of the human psyche, postulated the existence of a collective unconscious, a universal repository of archetypes, symbols, and behavior patterns that we have inherited as a species. Imagine it as a vast ethereal library where the memories and ancestral wisdom of all humanity are stored, accessible through the hidden mysteries of our own psyche. Ancient cultures, deeply connected to the rhythms of nature and the cosmos, did not view dreams as mere nocturnal reveries. For the Egyptians, for example, dreams were messages from the gods, oracles that guided pharaohs and priests. Their books of dreams were not just manuals of interpretation, but compendiums of communication with the divine. In ancient Greece, the cult of Asclepius included the practice of dream incubation, where the sick sought healing and divine revelations at specific sanctuaries. They understood that by entering the realm of dreams with intention, they could interact with higher powers, with the very cosmic energy that permeates all existence. This is not a fantasy. It is an understanding of consciousness in its fluidity, less constrained by the rules of consensual reality. In sleep, the barriers of the rational mind weaken, allowing inner alchemy to work with the raw material of the unconscious. Dream symbols serpents, trees, deep waters, archetypal figures are the keys to spiritual enlightenment, coded messages that reveal truths about ourselves and the universe that the daytime mind, in its rigidity, often ignores. These symbols resonate with the hidden mysteries found in forbidden texts and esoteric traditions from around the world, from the Vedas and the Upanishads, which describe the illusory nature of reality, to the Hermetic treatises that speak of the unity between the microcosm and the macrocosm, that dreams are, therefore, a training ground for consciousness, a laboratory where we can practice deciphering the symbolic language that underlies the very fabric of reality. They invite us to question the solidity of our perception, to recognize that there are layers of existence beyond those our physical eyes can see. Ancient wisdom whispers through the veils of sleep, inviting us on a journey not only within ourselves, but into the vastness of the collective unconscious, where the boundaries between self and whole disappear. Understanding dreams is not merely interpreting them, but experiencing them as direct access to this primordial source of knowledge and energy, a source that pulses with the very life of the cosmos. This exploration is a perennial invitation to go beyond the visible, to feel the subtle weave that connects everything. What do your own dreams reveal about the nature of reality? If dreams are the windows to the nature of reality, then what we perceive in the waking state is merely the surface of an infinite ocean. The illusion of linearity in time we discussed earlier is merely a symptom of our limited perception. The true fabric of existence is not a straight line, but a vibrant tapestry, woven with threads of multiple dimensions that intertwine in patterns the rational mind can barely conceive. This is the essence of the hidden mysteries that the great mystical traditions of all time have sought to reveal. Ancient wisdom, expressed in myths, rituals, and forbidden texts such as the Orphic fragments or the Emerald tablets, has always pointed to a universe where matter is merely a condensation of something more subtle, where space and time are flexible, and consciousness is the primordial substance. We are not speaking merely of additional spatial dimensions, but of vibrational planes of existence, each with its own laws and forms of manifestation, all coexisting simultaneously. Think of the 7 bodies of the Theosophical tradition, or the worlds of Kabbalah, from the world of action, Asaya, to the world of emanation, Eitziluth. Each is a layer of reality, a veil through which divinity manifests. Spiritual enlightenment is not just seeing beyond the veil, but understanding that the veils are made of the same substance of which we are made. We are microcosms reflecting the macrocosm, and the same cosmic energy that sustains galaxies pulsates in every cell of our being. The interconnectedness of all things is not a poetic metaphor, but a physical and spiritual truth. Modern quantum physics, with its entanglements and non-locality, begins to touch on what ancient shamans and sages already understood, that there is no real separation. Our actions, thoughts, and emotions create ripples in the fabric of existence, affecting not only ourselves, but everything and everyone. This is the basis of synchronicity, where seemingly unconnected events align to reveal a greater purpose. An echo of the hidden plot. Inner alchemy is the process of recognizing and harmonizing these multiple layers within ourselves. It is the transmutation of the lead of ignorance into the gold of wisdom, not through external chemical reactions, but through the purification of perception and the expansion of consciousness. It is a path of unraveling, of peeling away the layers of illusion to reveal the essential self that is one with the whole. The symbols we find in dreams and in the sacred art of lost civilizations, the flower of life, the Ouroboros, the tree of life, the mandala, are maps to this multidimensional reality and to our own constitution. They are keys to decoding the language of existence, revealing that separation is a mirage, a perceptual convenience. By studying these forbidden texts and archetypal images, we are not only learning about the past, but activating a latent knowledge in our own cosmic DNA. The question is not whether a multidimensional universe exists, but how we can train our inner senses to perceive it, to feel the current of cosmic energy that flows through everything. What would happen if you began to see each encounter, each experience, as a thread in this vast tapestry, a reflection of the whole? If each encounter is a thread, how do we discern the original weave behind the patterns presented to us? The veil that covers truth is not a physical barrier, but a constructive perception, erected by layers of conditioning, limiting beliefs, and the very density of the material world. Millennia ago, the ancient wisdom of diverse cultures recognized these veils, understanding that manifest reality is merely a reflection of something greater. The hidden mysteries of ancient Egypt, with their veiled deities and rituals, spoke of the esoteric truth accessible to the initiated. The Gnostics, in turn, described a demiurge who created this world as a prison of oblivion, where the divine spark within each of us is obscured. Their forbidden texts, discovered at Nag Hammadi, like the Gospel of Thomas, are not mere apocryphal narratives. They are invitations to a cosmogony that questions the reality we accept, inciting us to spiritual enlightenment, to free the soul from material bonds and glimpse the pleroma, the fullness of light, beyond the illusions of an imperfect world. How do we decipher these symbols and narratives that veil the true nature of reality? The answer lies in the inner alchemy we have already explored. It is the process of transmuting superficial perception into profound insight. The language of the soul is not of words, but of archetypes, of universal symbols that resonate in our collective unconscious, echoes of the cosmic energy that permeates us. Ouroboros, for example, is not just a serpent eating its own tail. It is the eternal cycle of creation and dissolution, the primordial unity that feeds on itself to renew itself. By meditating on these symbols, we not only understand them intellectually, but also allow them to activate spiritual enlightenment within us, revealing connections that the logical mind could never reach. They are portals to encoded ancient wisdom. Consider the Hermetic schools or the profound teachings of Jewish Kabbalah. Both use a complex system of symbols and numbers to describe the structure of the universe and the journey of the soul. The Kabbalistic tree of life, with its 10 sephirot, is not just a diagram. It is a dynamic map of consciousness, of divine manifestation from the Ein Sof infinity to the material realm. Each sephira represents a dimension, an aspect of consciousness, and the path between them is the flow of cosmic energy. Understanding these forbidden texts, not because they are literally illegal, but because they are inaccessible to the mind, uninitiated in the hidden mysteries, is like learning the secret language of creation. They show us that the universe is not static, but a pulsating current of energy and information, constantly manifesting and unfolding. The sacred art of lost civilizations, the foundation myths, the epics of ancient peoples. Think of Egyptian hieroglyphics. Each image is a portal, a synthesis of concept and energy. Think of the Vedic epics of India, such as the Mahabharata and the Bhagavad Gita, which, beneath their layers of narrative, reveal profound teachings about the nature of existence, dharma, and karma. They are not mere stories to entertain, but vehicles for ancient wisdom, designed to reactivate dormant memories of our true origin. They are roadmaps to spiritual enlightenment. The real challenge, therefore, is not finding a book that reveals the truth, but developing the ability to read the book of the world itself, to perceive the subliminal messages in the very tapestry of reality. What we see as chaos may be an intricate order waiting to be unveiled. The hidden mysteries are not hidden from us, but in us, waiting to be rediscovered through the purification and focus of inner alchemy. Spiritual enlightenment is not a single event, but an ongoing process of stripping away the veils, where each revelation leads to a deeper layer of understanding. The question then is not just what is veiled, but why it is veiled, and who are we to remove these veils? Each deciphered symbol, each reinterpreted myth, is not just a piece of information, but a fragment of a mirror reflecting a larger part of the cosmic self, prompting us to ask, if reality is a tapestry of symbols and inner alchemy the key to deciphering them, what prevents us from weaving our own version of truth, manifesting it with intention? The greatest revelation, therefore, is not deciphering the mystery outside, but weaving the truth that pulses within, manifesting it in the eye. World, are you ready to be the architect of your own tapestry of reality, or just a spectator? If this reflection resonated with you, share this video and subscribe to the channel for more journeys of discovery. To delve deeper into the alchemy of consciousness, watch our next video on the sacred geometry of manifestation.